In this video, we will look at a loop to do a word game. What we want to do with this word game is we just want to have the program prompt us to enter a word, and we're going to let the program compare that to a hard-coded word that we have put in the program, and we'll let the user guess repeatedly and telling them that either they got the word correct, or if they didn't, we'll tell them they didn't, and we'll give them another chance. Bringing up this form, I noticed that it looks older. So before I get into the code, let's actually go in and change it a little bit. So let's bring up our designer view and let's do some fixes to this. So I want to bring up the properties panel. So hang on while I do that. One thing I've noticed here is I've got the old notation for the do while loop, and it really should just be a while loop. And also, I don't want to do the same program with do until, so I'm going to delete that do until button. Okay, so let's just delete, let's just delete that. And now we just have the do while loop. Let's change the name. Let's change the text on that to just make it a while loop. I like that much better. That's more correct with the current version of Visual Studio that we're using. All right, so then we have a very simple form. We just have the while loop with the quit button. So I'll take away the properties window and we'll go from here. Okay, so let's double click on the while loop. We'll do that. And notice in here it does still say the do while, but that's okay. We'll live with it. I don't have the do until anymore, so I want to delete the code for that one. Okay, now the word game. Let's do the word game. Variables that we're going to need. We are going to need a variable for the guess. So let's just call it a guess. And we're also going to need a secret word. So let's do secret underscore word. And since these are not numbers, the type that we should use here is string. Alrighty, now let's set up the secret word internally, and we'll make that equal to uppercase chargers. All right, now this is the word we want our user to guess. We are going to use an input box to let them guess. So like we did with our previous example, let's go ahead and let the user make their first guess before we get into the loop. So guess is equal to input box, and our message to our user is, okay, please guess the secret word, period. And I tell you what, let's put a title up there in our input box and let's call it word game. Okay, so notice that there's a comma separating these two string constants. Okay, now after the guess, let's check to see if the guess is correct. Now at this point, we can just go ahead and get into our loop. So let's do while the guess is not equal to the secret word. All right, so what this means is as long as they have not guessed the word, we want to let them try again. And their first guess, if it was not correct, that means that this condition will be true. We'll go inside the loop. Well, we need to tell them that they did not get it correct. So let's use a message box this time. So remember the message box, messagebox.show. Then we just give them a message. Let's say, sorry, that is not correct. Guess again, period. In order to let them guess again, we will use the input box. So we can take that line from outside the loop, we can copy it and paste it inside the loop here. Now, given only this small amount of code, let's run the program and see how it works. As you can tell, it's pretty small, but there's not much inside the loop. If you guess and they do not get it correct, you'll stay inside the loop. So this happens over and over again. Let me fix my typo there. So they'll get the message box, that's not correct, guess again. then they'll get the input box, and this repeats forever until they get the secret word correct. Okay, run it. Here is our simple form. We'll click while loop, and here we go. There's the input box. Please guess the secret word. Well, maybe it's UAH. All right, so it is not. So I get the message box. Sorry, that's not correct. Guess again. And then when I click the OK button, the code progresses one line, and I'll get the input box again. So I'll click OK. Then here's the input box for my next guess. Alrighty, so what could it be? Maybe it's home. There are a lot of words to choose from. Sorry, that's not right either. So that message came from that message box there. Then we will click OK, and we'll get the input box again. Here's the input box. So this is going to happen repeatedly until we guess the secret word. This could get very long and boring because there are so many words to choose from, but we'll help the user out maybe in a bit. All right, let's try one more word. Okay, is it moose? Maybe that's the word. No, sorry, that's not correct either. Okay, now we know the secret word, so the only way out of this loop, other than ending the program, is to guess the secret word. And it does have to be in uppercase because we set this as an uppercase word when we declared the value for the secret word. Okay, so this will make us exit the loop. Okay, so I'll click OK, and then nothing happens because there's nothing below the loop. So that's how this little loop works. And this is analogous to the situation where you might be trying to type in your password and you've forgotten it. So it will tell you that, hey, that's not the correct password, try again, but you only get a few choices or chances if it's a password. So let's stop the program and modify it a little bit. If you guess a secret word, then let's reward our user with a message. So let's do another message box.show after the loop. And if they have managed to exit the loop, that means they did guess the secret word. So the message will be, congratulations. Yeah, let's put an exclamation point there. Congratulations, you guessed the secret word. All right, so now if they do guess the secret word, they'll get this message box here at the bottom. Let's try that. I'll start the program. Here's the little form, while loop. Okay, guess the secret word. I'll try some stuff like UAH again. Sorry, that's not correct. Okay, all right, we'll try another one. Is it moose? Sorry, that's not correct. Okay. All right, so now after we've done this a few times, let's guess chargers. All right, this time we did get the message box. Congratulations, you guessed the secret word, which comes after the loop. So we click OK and we're done. So there's that. That's the simplest version of this program. But what if the user wants to quit? So let's modify the program so that they can type in quit when they get tired of guessing, and that will allow them to exit the loop. All right, so we'll make them guess one word up here. Please guess a secret word. Then we will enter this, and we'll give them the message box, but let's change this one in the middle here, or inside the loop. Please guess a secret word, or enter uppercase quit to stop. So now they can enter quit. They get tired of this. Well, that means we need to change that. We need to change this condition. So how do you change that relational expression to incorporate the possibility of typing in quit? Think about, how do you stay in the loop? As long as they're still trying to guess the word and they haven't quit, we want to stay in the loop. Okay, so that suggests what we need to do here. We will do an and the guess is not equal to uppercase Q-U-I-T. All right, so they have not guessed the word correctly and they have not entered quit. As long as that's the case, we will stay inside the loop. Looking at the bottom of the loop now, there are two ways out. Okay, you could have guessed the secret word, in which case we do want that message. But if they choose quit, then we don't want to tell them that they got the secret word. So we need a different message box. So let's do that. Let's test for that condition. So if guess is not equal to quit, then we want to give them that message box. Else, if guess is equal to quit, then we'll give them a different message box. And let's type in the end if here. Okay, so if they typed guess is equal to quit, then let's give them a different message box. So message box.show. So now, what message do we want to give them? Well, let's be polite. Let's say thanks or thank you for playing. And you know what? We probably ought to tell them the secret word. Let's suppose they've really been working hard at this. They've spent a lot of time, and they finally decided, oh, I'm tired of this. I'm just going to quit. If we don't give them the secret word, then that's kind of cruel, isn't it? So let's tell them what the secret word was. So let's add to this the secret word is, put a space there, and let's concatenate the variable secret word. So we'll print out the actual secret word if they choose to quit. Okay, look at this code carefully. Make sure you understand what's going on. It's a pretty simple little loop. Let's try it again. So we'll start the program. We'll click while loop. And let's guess a few things we know that are not correct. There's UAH. Okay, sorry, that's not correct. Guess again. Let's guess chargers. We want to make sure we get the correct message box at the bottom. And we do. Congratulations, you guessed the secret word. Okay, now let's try a situation where we just want to quit. Try UAH. Sorry, that's not correct. Okay. I like to try moose. That's not correct. Okay, guess again. Well, let's suppose I'm tired of guessing. I don't want to guess anymore. I want to quit. And you'll notice it says enter quit here. So we've added that. So now I typed in quit. I should get the other message box. And it says, sure enough, thank you for playing. The secret word is chargers. So that came from this message box here. So here is another example where we have a program that in advance we do not know how many times we will need to go through this loop. So the while loop is a good choice. The do until, we could do that as well. But the for next loop isn't a good choice for this loop. So that concludes this example. This just gives you another example of the use of the while loop in a case where the number of passes is not known in advance. So we'll stop the video here.